Hey, Jonathan here from wingchun.life, and today I wanted to show you kind of an overview of some of the most common postures in the Wing Chun system. So this will just be a quick overview. We're not going to get into nitty-gritty details, but it'll be a good reference point for you to understand what the postures are and why they are the way that they are. So first we've got Tan Sau, which is a dispersing hand or dividing hand. And it's just kind of putting your hand in between you and your opponent along the center line. So your elbow tries to get in along the center here as close as you can. Basically, if you can do this with your elbows, this is where you want to be. And the angle of your forearm isn't 90 degrees and it's not 180 degrees. It's just a little beyond. Or you could say it's one fist width away from your body, the elbow, and then your forearm is parallel to the ground, and then you can raise your shoulder joint, and that's the proper relative angle of your forearm and upper arm here. So then it's here and about that far out in front of you. So that's Tan Sau. Now from here you can kind of curl your hand in, and this is Fook Sau, or kind of controlling hand. From energies from underneath and going up is what you want to do. So this kind of prevents things from coming up without having to grab onto them. So this is kind of your controlling arm. Right? So again, your elbow is about a fist width away from your body, and this is curled kind of like a beak. Your thumb is supported on your fingers, just like so. So it just kind of goes from Tan Sau to Fook Sau. Now from here, if you rotate your elbow out and your hand goes forward, this is what's commonly known as Bong Sau. It's a turning kind of deflection, wing arm, right? So it kind of looks like the wing of a bird. And it's not that you want to keep your hand out here. It's kind of a nice transition to get from the outside or from the outside to the inside. So there's often a Bong Sau, Tan Sau transition, or a Tan Sau to Bong Sau transition. So your shoulder's on the outside, your elbow's here, and you're kind of looking at your watch. Although the angle of your forearm to your upper arm is kind of the same as your Tan Sau. It's just the position of your elbow changes and then your hand rotates over as well. Right? So you can have a low Bong Sau and it can go all the way up. You can go from either side, low Bong Sau all the way up, and then you pull your elbow in and it transitions to Fook Sau, and then from Fook Sau, Tan Sau. Right, so that's kind of the three main postures that you're going to wind up using over and over again. Bong Sau, Tan Sau, Fook Sau. Bong Sau, Tan Sau, Fook Sau. Right? There are a couple others like Pak Sau. If you notice, it doesn't go past the shoulder, because why else would it need to? If you do that, you get trapped. So it just kind of goes to the shoulder, and it's a little far out ahead of you. You can do it here to clear the way, but what you want to do is give yourself enough time and space to actually intercept whatever's coming in. So you don't lead with your fingers, then that's how they get broken. So you want to pull your fingers back, and it makes impact like that. So it's often called slapping hand, but I like to call it a clapping hand, right? So instead of a slap, it's a clap and an oomph kind of feel. So that's Pak Sau to the side, So you can use that to redirect incoming whatever, or you can brace and move yourself and it stays relatively stationary, but in reference to you, it's exactly the same as the Pak Sau this way. Okay? So you got Bong Sau, which is the asking hand, and well, a good question to ask is, what is it asking? So the asking hand is it's your probe, right? It's your first line of entry into the other person's space, their boundaries. So really what you're asking is, what are you going to do about it? What are you going to do about it? And so how they deal with your probe tells you a lot about the quality of their boundaries and their skills and their sensitivity. So it's the start of the conversation. Now back here is your Wu Sau, which is your guarding hand, which is usually about elbow distance out from your chest here. So it's in alignment, so you can see the Wu Sau and the Bong Sau are along my center line, And so this is where it is out and side to side. That's no good, that's no good. It's right there along the line. So if they get past your Bong Sau, you got your Fook Sau here to cover whatever needs to happen, and it can transition from anywhere. So those are some of the beginning postures that you'll find over and over and over again, done in different directions, different forward and back, left, right, up, down, but it's those essential postures that you'll see cropping up again and again in the first form and the later forms.